What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Red Plates podcast. This is episode number 10, and it is part one of two for the 2024 Canadian Nationals preview show. We are very excited about this episode, and we know that a lot of you guys are too. Let us know when you listen. Are we correct or incorrect with our predictions? You can probably leave some comments here on the Spotify if you're listening, or on YouTube, as well as on our Instagram at Red Plates Podcast. Episode number one will start with the lightest weight class women, jumping back and forth from the lightest women to men, all the way up to the 69 kilo women and the 83 kilo men. After that, part two will have the remainder of the classes, and that will be uploaded one day after this one is uploaded. We wish the best of luck to everyone competing at Nationals. Let us know your thoughts on our predictions. Leave a 5-star review if you can, or like the video on YouTube. And lastly, before we get into it, at Nationals, if you will be there, come to the Hansu Power booth. Your boy Luke will be there, and he will be helping Hansu sell some of the best equipment in the game. All IPF approved. Singlets will be there. Very good pricing on the singlets, sleeves, shoes, belts, and everything you can think of. So make your way over to the Hansu Power booth and say what's up. And without further ado, let's start episode number one of the preview show. This episode is massive because it is probably the first Canadian Nationals preview that has happened in a very long time. I don't know, is that correct, boys? Like, there hasn't been anyone really covering it.
Yeah, I think maybe like 2019, I remember one, maybe, but that's about it.
Yeah. So this is the 2024 Nationals. We're about a week. Oh my God, we're really close, guys. So about a week out, we have some information about all the lifters and what they've posted. So we're going to run through each class, men and women, from the bottom to the top, and discuss what we think is going to go down. And, maybe some people will be happy to hear it. Maybe some people will be salty, but we'll see how it goes.
Should maybe even say sorry beforehand.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. If you're sad about it, just use it as fuel. Listen to this right before you go out there. But yeah, so it's Kyle, myself, Trevor, and we are joined by Jimmy Willard, right?
Yes, exactly.
So Jimmy is he just did the North American Championships for Team Canada, and he also has 2 other international coaching experiences for Team Canada. So he's going to be really good. He's also from Quebec, so he has some insights that me and Trevor might not know too much about. So Jimmy, why don't you go and introduce yourself a little bit?
All right. Thank you guys for receiving me. I think I am the first Quebecer going on a Canadian podcast, so that's good.
PR.
It's PR, like I said earlier. So my name is Jimmy Willard. I coach powerlifting for a living. I have been a full-time coach for a year and a half now. I was in the military for 8 years, and I retired last summer, just before NAPF. And I opened the gym in Quebec City, and here I am on the podcast.
Yeah, and you have another gym that's going to be opening, like the second location, and it looks incredible, guys. So if you're in where is it located?
It's in Quebec City. So everything in Quebec City is pretty close by. So wherever you are in Quebec City, or on the other side of the bridge, then you are 15 minutes away from the gym.
Okay, yeah. So check it out, guys. I want to go, but it's very, very far. At some point, we'll check it out, though. All right. Well, we'll just get right into it now. So we'll start with the 47 kilo women's class. For the open, this is really just open that we're going to be covering. Sorry to the juniors and sub-juniors and masters lifters. But yeah, so let's start here with the 47 kilo women. Maybe, Jimmy, do you want to get us started with this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So like we talked earlier, guys, I just highlighted the top 3 or whoever was a contender for the podium or the top 5. So here in the 47s, I've highlighted Aurélie Nguyen, Simone Lai, and Catherine Nian, which is Colton's girlfriend. Aurélie nominated at 395, Simone is at 372.5, and Catherine is at 343.5.
Yeah, so Aurélie is the champion. For how many years in a row now has she won?
I think it's the 4th time. She was winning as a junior. She went to Junior Worlds with me in 2022. And then, so third year in a row, and then this year, hopefully, she gets it back again.
Yeah, so this time she's coming in a little bit injured. She does still likely have the biggest pull, which is really going to help her out. The other lifter, Simone, who we have ranked right now in probably the second place, at least off of the qualifying total. It's been a while since she hasn't done, or since she's done 47 raw, if I'm correct. So, what is her nominated total? Is 372 and a half?
Yeah, so it's 372 and a half, but it's nomination done in the 52s. So she's cutting down to the 57s. And yeah, and she's been doing equip for the past like year and a half, haven't competed in Raw in a while. So it's going to be pretty interesting. But like seeing the numbers with Aurélie injured, I think it's going to be a great battle for first position.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does equipped, and I think she's doing equipped at nationals as well. She actually goes to our gym, Afterburn. So Kyle, I think maybe has a little bit of insight because I think you were training with her the other day. Kyle, did she say anything?
I don't know how she wants me to share the inside information on her training, but I know it's going really well. I think the total that she did as well at 52, she was like a light 52. She was 49 point something. Yeah. So I think she could definitely replicate that. And she has lots of international experience as well. So if Aurelie not on like the top of her game, you never know. Never know what might happen. I think obviously having the biggest pull is a weapon, and Aurelie has a massive pull for the 47s.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Just to add some insights on the deadlift, she told me earlier, and she doesn't mind me telling, she switched to sumo, like a frog stance, because her back is injured and she cannot pull conventional. So,
oh wow, okay,
yeah.
She
So
posted on her page, actually, I think, I don't know if it was like today or yesterday or when it was, but I think it was 150 kilos or so.
Yeah, something like that. I think I saw it too.
So it moved okay. It might have been like a little bit of the stance being new and the fact that she's in pain, but we already know that she can pull a crazy amount. Like at that Worlds in 2022, what did she end up pulling, Jimmy? It was something crazy, I believe.
I think it was like 185, 190.
And I think it flew, didn't it? And then she ended up pulling something in the back room, like 192
like
or 95 or something.
Yeah. And then the other lifter will be Catherine Nguyen, who has put up 370 at 52, which is also very, very big. And I don't recall, I think she's coming up from the juniors not too long ago. So she definitely has some momentum building. And she did Westerns, I believe.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, she did Westerns, and before that, she competed at NAPF 2023.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's looking really strong too. So we'll see how it goes. Like obviously, Aurelie has her big pull, and then we'll see how it falls after that. What are we looking at for the podium? You guys think? Maybe
I was just gonna add, Catherine Nguyen, if I'm saying that correctly, also has a 370 total at 52. So similar to Simone. So they're like pretty neck and neck there.
When was Simone's 370? That's probably like last nationals, wasn't it?
Let me go back.
I think
her 372. It was 2023. Yeah.
Yeah, 2023 nats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say because she's only competed equipped. I know her equipped deadlift is like 15 kilos more than her best raw. So I know the suit doesn't do a ton, so her deadlift might be a little better than it used to be. But other than that, it's pretty hard to call.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good fight, honestly. I would still put Aurélie as the preferred one to win. I don't think we're going to see like some crazy total around like 400 for Aurélie, because I think she's just going to load whatever needed to get the team spot. I think it's going to be a great battle between Catherine and Simone for second and third, but I would say Aurélie first, Simone second, and Catherine in third.
Yep. Yeah, I think I have it the same. It will be interesting to see, like, because Aurélie will have her squat, and hopefully she can get through that feeling good and then just load up whatever she needs. So we know she can pull a lot. So it's really kind of how healthy will she be on the day.
Yeah.
And what about you, Kyle? What do you think?
I'd agree with both of you guys' prediction. I'd say Aurelie is the defending champ. Just depends how she is feeling on the day, like dealing with the injuries and stuff like that. And then probably Simone and Catherine in third.
And you, Trev?
Yeah, I would probably say the same thing. If Horley just kind of builds her total and sits, she pulls quite a bit more than the other two, so she's going to know exactly what she needs, and I would imagine probably she will pull out with the win.
Cool. Okay.
And then I would probably go Simone. It'll probably be close, I think, but Simone's a veteran. She knows what she's doing. She's been there, done that. It's kind of hard to put Catherine above her, I would say.
Yeah, it'll be a good show regardless. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll move over to the 59-kilo males. Let's get maybe Trevor. Do you want to talk a little bit about this one to start?
Yeah, sure. So I think there's only the three of them, I think, right? Dixon, Jake, and Ben.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. I would say likely that Dixon is going to come out on top of this one. He has done 2 meets already this year. He's hit 560 and 565 already, which is like 20 kilos more than the other guys. And when you're in a small weight class like that, that's a big gap to make up.
Yeah.
Benjamin was, I believe, he won 2023 nationals, if I'm correct.
Yep.
He had won a few. So I think he won 2019 nationals, 2020, and 2023. So that's a really good run. So obviously you can't count him out if he's getting all those wins. But yeah, that nominated total being a significant amount higher is it's looking like it is going to be Dickinson's.
Yeah, I think that the thing with Ben too, I noticed when looking, he doesn't make a ton of attempts. He's got a lot of meets that are like 5 and 6 for 9, which kind of makes it even harder when you're already that far behind. I mean, he could come and go 9 for 9 and have a big total PR, but still, that's a pretty sizable gap.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And Jimmy, what about Jake?
Honestly, I haven't seen Jake compete too much. I know he's done Junior Worlds 2 years ago, I believe, last year maybe. And I saw him at Centrals. Honestly, looking at like how he was lifting, I was honestly kind of scared for Dixon's spot that we were getting like a month after just to secure it. But like, yeah, Jake looked pretty good at Centrals. Just touch on the others. Benjamin did 500 at Westerns. I think like Garrett is coaching Benjamin, and he showed me the game plan, and it was supposed to hit like 560. So him hitting like 500 on that day was very surprising for him. And for Dixon, he's been hitting around like 590, 580 in the past when he was like 64, 65. And we just cut back down towards the 59 last year because there was more chances of him getting the spot. So yeah, I think Dixon would be the favorite here. I don't think the 565 is a good like measurement of like what he's capable of. I think he's capable of close to 6. We just need to be able to like align the stars and have a good meet. I'm also coaching Dixon, so I'm biased, but
I was gonna throw that in there, but I also agree with you. Like he's ahead by a reasonable amount or a reasonable amount, and I think he'll be at the top of the podium.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's 20 kilos between each guy. I would probably kind of guess that that's how it's going to play out.
I would
Kind
say
of
though
as it's
too,
written.
Jake is fresh out of the juniors. Like he's a young guy, and if you look at all of his meets, like he's adding pretty consistently, making big jumps. Like he was like 47, 520. He had one down tick at Junior Worlds to 512, but then his next meet was 542. So he put on like 22 and a half kilos on his total. So he's gaining pretty fast too. So he could be right in there.
Maybe you do need to watch out, Jimmy.
Yeah, I honestly think I'm gonna have a fight, but we'll see who comes out on top. Also, not to hit Dixon on the head, but like we're having a hard time hitting like competition standard in the gym. Usually it shows on meet day, but I'm not gonna count on it. So I'm gonna make sure Dixon is ready for this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Dixon's gonna come out on top.
Yeah, not okay. So I think we have like the podium solidified in our minds, and we'll see if Jake can pull off the upset. Jimmy's hoping not, but okay. So we'll move on to the 52-kilo women. From the first nominated total to the bottom of the podium, there will be a pretty large gap. We're looking at Catherine Gagne was nominated with the 438. She didn't have her best performance at Worlds, but the lower end of the podium, the nominated total is around 357. So there's a big gap there. But we do have, do you know how to, can you pronounce Marie's name?
Yeah, I can. It's Mary Geneviève Joaquin.
Yes, so she's making good progress. Yeah, I didn't want to butcher that, so sorry. But yeah, she's making good progress, and she's close to Catherine, especially if she doesn't have her best performance like she did at Worlds. But I think Catherine's a pretty clear favorite.
Yeah, agreed. Also, I'm gonna be biased on this one because Catherine is also coached by my by the team at Podium. So yeah, I think Catherine, if she has a good meet, she's gonna absolutely wipe the floor on this one. But I wouldn't count Mary out because she has much more experience than Catherine, so that's gonna be playing on her favor. I think Mary's coming out from the West, I think. So she has a lot to travel. I think Catherine's going to be driving there, so it's going to be way easier to like recover from driving than flying. But yeah, I think that's what it's going to be.
Marie's from BC, so that's a big travel like across the entire country. So
Yeah, exactly.
It does look like her training was going pretty good. I think I thought she hit around 400 kilos for a double, like on an SPD day. Is that right? Or sound right?
How much?
I think she hit 145, 80, 172 for a double in the gym, and it looked pretty easy.
That's going to be exciting.
And I think she talked about she'd pulled like 185 or so. I think it might be pretty close.
Yeah.
Unless you think Catherine's made quite a bit of progress on the 438, I'm not sure.
I don't think she's made that much progress, but I'm think she's gonna head towards pretty much the same total.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't coach her, so I don't know her numbers exactly, but like from what I've heard from like the coaches around me, she's gonna hit yeah, she's in the run for about the same total.
yeah,
One thing I'll add too, I think Mary's the defending national champion. I think she won in 2023.
Yeah.
But it does also look like her history with all her third deadlifts, she's missed like quite a couple in the past, and she's kind of been floating around the same total. And Catherine did have like that big uptick. So I'd say like based on that, and she does have like a healthy spread there. I would probably choose Catherine as the favorite as well.
Yeah, and also just to add a bit more on this, I think Catherine's probably gonna be like in the run for best lifter at nationals as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Our GL is going to be probably around like 111, 112. And with Jess moving up to the 84s, that's going to bring it down to like about the same. So they're going to have a bit of a fight for best lifter, I believe.
What about Brittany?
Oh, yeah, true. I forgot Britt. Sorry,
Yeah,
Britt.
I think Britt's like 120 something.
Yeah, I think Britt has a crazy one, but she might not go that hard at nationals though.
yeah. We'll see. Yeah, so then we have Mika probably in third, but my client Shyla is looking to maybe sneak onto the podium. So we'll see. Shout out Shyla from Coach Bobby. But yeah, so for that class, it does look like it's the top two really battling for that podium or like the number one on the podium spot. But yeah, should be another good fun class to watch.
Yep. Agreed.
So I think everyone is pretty much in agreement with like the ranking.
Yeah, I'd say Catherine probably should win, but she definitely needs to make a lot of attempts. I would say Marie's probably not that far behind from what I saw.
I agree.
Okay. Well, we can move on to the 66 kilo men now. This one is an interesting one. There's a lot of like stuff going on the online. So we have Mally, who has the highest nominated total, but he's cutting down to 66. So it'll really depend on how that carries over because we also have in second place Derek. We have him ranked in second at least. He is the defending national champion, and he's been in the game for a long time. I was there when he competed at Centros. he was about to put up a really big performance, but he missed his third squat, really just on like a little bit of a balance thing. So that brought his total down by a good margin. But yeah, so we have those two, and then we have Carlos. Maybe someone else gives some insight on Carlos because I don't know a lot about his training, and I see Jimmy maybe said he might be dropping out.
That's some insights from Trevor. You have the floor, Trevor.
I heard from Mally. He said like maybe 2 weeks ago he's considered dropping out. And I know Carlos's last post I saw when I was kind of looking up people. He had done provincials and he said he needed to heal up some things before prepping for nationals or something along those lines. I don't think he had posted anything since then, so it's kind of hard to say, I guess, other than what Mally told me, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, that's we'll have to see because he does have a higher nominated total than Derek, and Derek is the defending champion. So maybe maybe he's coming in, he's ready.
Yeah, he has that total. He's a pretty new lifter. I think his first meet was 2022. I don't think he's done a nationals. I think he's just done like regionals and provincials. But it's kind of hard to say when the last thing really put out there was that he would needed to heal up and yada yada. So I think it's probably more between Mally and Derek, but who knows? Maybe he's just not posting anything and his training's going crazy.
Could be a sneak attack.
Yeah. For that one, we already know that Derek has put up big totals at the weight class. And so it's really also about how Mally shows up on the day after making weight, because Mally was a 74 at Westerns, which wasn't a crazy long time ago. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be really close. I know Mally has that bigger total coming in, but he has the cut. Because Derek's 635, he did at Centrals, I believe, only had a 207.5 squat. And I saw in prep, he hit 210 for a triple, I believe. So he's probably looking at, I would guess, a 222 to maybe like a 227 squat. So that's adding, what, 12, 15, 17 kilos there. That puts him in at like 652, 655. And that's with if he makes no improvement on squat and deadlift.
Yeah, on bench and deadlift.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah, bench and deadlift.
That's okay. Yeah, so it will be a really close one. I think Mally's probably going to end up pulling last. And we know Mally has put together some big pulls before. And Derek does pull around like the 265 range. So it really depends on the day, how the day plays out. But one of them will be loading up something big for that win.
Yeah, also I think Carlos, if he shows up, I think Carlos has a bigger pull than Mally. Okay. So that's going to be an interesting one. I think Mally, I have him around like 660, 670. I don't think he's going to hit again around like the 680 or 690. Seen his squat because he posted it, so I feel comfortable saying it, but I think he's going to squat around 232, 237 at top. His bench is probably going to be about 145, 150 at best, and deadlift I have him around like 280. But yeah, it's going to be a very good battle between Mally and Derek. Hopefully Carlos shows up and give them a fight as well.
What's Mally's best 74 pull? I feel like he misses a lot of deadlifts, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's pulled 280.
280, yeah.
And he's missed like 290 a couple times. He made an attempt at 300.
Yeah. I know he keeps posting his sub total a lot. He's posting like 227, 232. I think today he posted 235. Like those squats do not look easy.
Yeah,
and neither does the bench, to be honest. Like if he comes out with a 235 squat, like a 145 bench and a 270 pull, that's 650.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's gonna be close. I feel like it really is Mally versus the cut though. Because like I think it's so clear that like he is probably the stronger lifter on the top end. But like based on how he's looked like as he's dropping weight over the past couple blocks and then still having to lose another kilo or two, you just don't know how he's gonna feel on the day.
Yeah, to be honest, Mally looked a lot better 6 weeks ago than he does now. It looks like two different lifters, to be honest.
Yeah, like probably two training blocks ago, I think he was squatting like in the 240s, like with some decent speed compared to like how he's looking.
Yeah, I think he was doing like sets of 4 with 220 or something like that too. Where now he's like 230 is an absolute grinder single. It's just hard to say because he's never actually weighed in at 66. Like he's never made that cut. So it's really, I have a hard time saying he's going to come and just do like 670 or something.
Yeah.
Because like if these like that subtotal he's posting, if that's that hard in the gym and he's still like 1.5 kilos over, whatever, if he makes weight, it might not be like it might be less than that.
Yeah, he is pretty close to the weight though, like 67 and a half. Especially if that's like his daily average isn't really a hard cut, but sometimes it is really that bottom end of the cut that like really messes it up for you. I could see him putting up like the subtotal that he just did in the gym though, like 235, 237, and then maybe around like like you said, Jimmy, like 145, 150. The pauses look a little bit short sometimes, but the 145 that he did was quite easy. So yeah, like we'll see. Derek has a big bench. The subtotals could be quite similar, to be honest. Mally has to be pretty aggressive with his squat. So
yeah. I think Derek looks really consistent in training now too. Like Trevor said, his squat looks like it is on a pretty big uptick. The one thing I'll say is I know sometimes Derek might miss on grip, which could come and get him, especially because Mally already has the slightly bigger pull.
Mm-hmm.
So that could come into play too. I think it'll be close.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to Derek making his third deadlift and then forcing Mally to pull more than he's capable of.
Yeah.
But I still have Mally in first, Derek in second, and Carlos in third if Carlos shows up.
yeah, I think I agree with you. I think this time we might not all agree on the podium. I could see Mally doing it. I could see it going either way, but I'll put Mally on top.
I'll go with Derek. I'll go Team Derek.
Yeah, I would say Derek, Mally, and then I don't know, like if Carlos is. I'm assuming if he's saying he might be dropping out, his training's not going that well. So I would say probably Carlos in third.
Yep, that's fair. It'll all come down to that last pull. So both of those are really good guesses, and we'll see what happens. Mally will definitely have some screen recordings of this, though. So
who's handling Mally? Did he ever figure that out?
Mally, I don't know. I feel like maybe Adam. Like, oh no, wait, Mally's.
Well, Adam would lift like the next day.
It won't be Adam. I don't know.
What was the question?
Who's handling Mally?
Oh, it's gonna be Graham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, it's kind of like the same approach that I would have for Nick anyway, and he handles Nick all the time. Graham does, I believe, right? So just let Derek do his thing and then pull more.
Yeah, Graham's a very good handler, so I think he's gonna be playing some good cards.
Okay, cool. All right, so we have that. Oh, actually, Risley Tang, Miso.
I was just gonna say that. I've been hearing a lot about Miso Strong.
So Risley Tang might just come out with a really big pull. I think he pulls more than Carlos. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, no, I still agree with who I put at the top. Anyway, we'll move on to the 57s. This is a pretty big class. There's lots of like names that have been around for a while. Jimmy, do you want to just kick it off here and then we'll go through the list? We have a top 5 here, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So the nominations are Amélie Piché-Plante at 426. She's moving up from the 52 to the 57s, so that's going to be interesting. She just competed at NAPF against Monica, which is nominated in second. But Monica just totaled 419.5 at NAPF and won against Amélie, so that's going to be an interesting one. So it's a Amélie against Monica version 2. We have also Kyla Casey, who's nominated at 419, right under Monica. Kyla's best total at 57 is 419 at NAPF 2023, so she hasn't hit that high again since. But at NAPF, she missed a deadlift that was like 10 kilos heavier, so we might see a 430, something around there. In fourth, we have Jordanos. I don't know how to pronounce their name. Sorry.
I think that's right. I'm pretty sure.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure that's right. It says Jordanos.
So her best total at 63 is 420, and our best total at 57 is 410. Yeah, I have her in fourth. And then we have in fifth, I have Myriam Ravigna. She's from Quebec. She just did 400 at Fitlog, which is like our special events like Sheffield, but here in Quebec. She did that at 63 and now she's moving down to 57s. From what I've seen, she's looking pretty strong. She tends to miss her third attempts, which I could see her maybe like slipping in fourth position. I wouldn't see her putting a fight against the top three, but I could see her coming like fourth. So yeah, that's what we have for 57s.
Yeah, it's a pretty deep class. For Emily, when she went to, she's moving up. Do you know like her body weight right now? Like she's still growing into the class?
At NAPF, she arrived in Arizona at 58. So, and she weighed in like perfectly like at 56.
Okay.
So I think her body weight is good where it's at. She's probably gonna have to cut again, but like she should be filled. She is full.
Yeah,
Well, I think I checked her Instagram and I didn't see a recap for that NEPF. Did she go all out or was it just kind of a pretty chill?
No. She just wanted to have fun, just show up, like put some numbers on the board. She didn't push squat and bench much. She did like RP eights, so about like second attempts. She pushed deadlift a bit to push Monica to put more than she could handle, but Monica ended up like putting more on the board, and she actually made the attempt. So that was pretty surprising. They're both like around the same total. I think it's gonna be like a very good battle again. But I would have Amélie on top because she's from Quebec.
that's a good reason. Not biased at all.
No.
Okay, that's good to know. With Jordanos as well, something important to note is that she does have a really big pull. So if like the podium is open, she could just kind of load up whatever she needs and go for it. Because obviously there's the battle for first and second, so there's always the chance that she could slip in there. And yeah, like the whole podium, like it could be mixed up very easily.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Do we know anything more about Kayla Casey? Because she's right there too, eh? 419.
Yeah. I think she competed at Worlds quite a few times, right?
So she did Westerns. She did 412 at Westerns.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then
Oh yeah,
she also
it was
did
6 for 9. It looks like 412.
yeah. So she missed 170 on the deads twice. And then she also did bench worlds.
Yeah.
Where she did 97.5.
Yeah, this is going to be really tight between these three by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Luke is right. Like, Jordanos does have a really big pull. She's pulled 205. I think she did that at 63. But if any three of them slip up, she could definitely pull in there. It depends what she tries to pull for, though, too. If she tries to pull for the win, then she might just end up off the podium, or she could potentially pull into third or second. But
I think with Jordanos, I don't think she's competed at 57 in like 3 years, probably. Because I think she was at 57 and then went to 63, but it's been a while, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, the last time she competed at this weight was at Worlds 2021 in Sweden.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to predict what her numbers will be, but
yeah,
she does have that big deadlift.
Yeah.
She'll just get to pick where she wants to try and land. So that's always like a superpower. Also, before we go into the podium, I think a good mention would be Nicola, who is unfortunately not able to compete at this nationals. She has a total that she just hit at Worlds of it was 455.
458, I think.
Oh, really?
I think, yes.
Yeah, and she squats around like 180. She holds the national record. So, I mean, she can't be there, but just for like reasons that I don't know how much she's gotten into it, but Anyway,
Political reasons.
yeah, political reasons, yeah. But yeah, she's obviously great, and so she'll be at the next nationals. But yeah, just wanted to bring her up because she would have been definitely in the discussion if she was able to do the meet.
Yeah, she would
For
have
sure, yeah.
probably be like top one. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
exactly. Yeah, something would have had to not go that well because I think at Worlds she didn't have her best showing and she still totaled that 455, which is a good amount over what we'll see probably for this year for like this nationals. But obviously they're trying to just win. They're not looking to put up this huge crazy total. Like just need to win and get to Worlds. That's the goal here. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe if there's nothing else to add on, like let's hear your guys' podium selection. 1, 2, 3. Like we said, it might be hard to guess. We might be wrong, but what do you think?
I think probably Emily is going to come out on top. She's coming up, so she's probably still some good gains. She did do NAPF, but as Jimmy said, it was pretty easy. She went 9 for 9. Probably built some momentum. I would say probably she's going to come out on top of this.
Yeah.
yeah, and the best total she has, like the qualifying one at 426, is when she was a 52. So
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think I got her number 1. I do think Monica will come second, and then Kayla is probably going to come third. Just knowing that she also for that nominated total, I think the 419 is where she did miss that last pull. So even if Jordanos loads up something crazy, it might not be enough. But yeah, we'll see.
I think I'm gonna mix it up and just say just because Monica's coming off the recent win against Emily, I was gonna say her, and especially just because it's such a short turnaround, like NAPF just happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say Monica in first, Emily in second, and Kayla in third.
yeah, my podium is going to be different from you guys. I think Emily's going to come on top. I think Kayla's going to come second, and Monica's going to come third. Since I was there at NAPF to see Monica's last deadlift, I think it was a very massive coin flip. It was like a 60% chance of like a 40% chance of making it, and she did. So I'm wondering if she's going to be able to do the same thing again at nationals.
Yeah, maybe not. Like if it's the same level of execution, it's probably not going to happen twice. It's going to be hard to clean that
I'll
up.
be pretty lucky.
Yeah, because it's only like a 4-week turnaround.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it for the 57s. That'll be a cool one. Honestly, a lot of these classes, like we could be wrong. There might be some big upsets because everyone's looking really good, which is cool too. Like the level of like strength in Canada is definitely rising. So,
Oh yeah.
So, we'll move on to the 74 kilo men now. This one is a pretty deep class as well. So yeah, there's been some talk here and there. Like even like for me, like the top 5 that we kind of have listed, I think there's someone outside of the top 5 who could do well as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just get right into it. We do have Blake who has put up the biggest total. When did he hit this? This 745 is the national record total, right?
Centrals, he hit that.
Controls, yeah.
And that was against Luke Homer. So Blake was on the podcast. Anyone listening? Blake Barrett, that annoying guy. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so he did 745. He has the national record total. He talked about that. He hit it and beat the total that Connor Lutz had set. And Connor Lutz is where we have nominated number 2 with the 735 and a half total, where he tried to hit. He hit that one when he tried to beat Blake's total. He barely missed at the Western Championships. So that'll be close. And then maybe, Jim, do you want to give some info on Justin, Jared, and Jeremy? Justin.
Yeah, so other than Blake and Connor, I honestly do not know the rest of these guys. So I've scouted a little bit. Justin, Jared, and Jeremy are like all around like 720, and then 713. There's some other guys around 7 right under these guys. So depending on like how their day is gonna go, I think it's gonna be a great battle for third position. Sadly, nationals this year is not going to be placing them for anything else than worlds. So third position is not going to do much for them. But I think if they show up to Nationals 2025, it's going to be good for them for some more international spots. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've seen Justin, I believe, won the 2023 national championship.
No, that was Mark Tobias.
Oh, it was Mark Tobias, but did Justin came second then, or was he?
Yep. Yeah, he was second place.
Okay. And is Mark not doing 74?
I don't think he's doing it at all. I
Oh,
don't think he's doing anything.
but yeah, Mark, he's that reigning champion. Then we had Justin, who came second, and that was the Nats where Blake tore his groin. So of course, it's Blake probably would have been in the mix there. But Justin's good. Justin hits attempts. From what I remember, at least watching that one. Jared is from Ontario. He's quite strong as well. I think for a lot of these guys, it's like, how can you, like, you have to make the cut, and then that's when you see like what kind of performance you'll be able to put up. Like even for Blake's clearly the strongest one, 10 kilos or so above everyone, but sometimes Blake doesn't have great performances. That being said, his prep has been going very well. And Jeremy, I forget where he's from, but Jeremy has a pretty good pull. He's just well rounded. He's good at every lift. I think squat's his weakest, but it's still like 250 or so. So he's right there, strong guy. And then lastly, to add to this, we don't have Mark Tobias, but we do have Lonray, who's Strong Chocolate on Instagram. He's been in the game for a long time. He's battled many of these guys before, like Connor, Ben, everyone, and Blake. So he has a really good shot, I think, too. His total that he did at Westerns, he went too silly, and he only got one squat, and he's a big squatter, so it really took his total down. But yeah, I could see him doing really well. He's probably going to squat just under 300 at 74, which is pretty crazy. Like if you take Perk out of the equation, like that's a ridiculous squat at the weight class. So yeah, I think he has a good shot too. But yeah, why don't you guys give Kyle, Trevor, any info that you have or any thoughts?
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think Lonray has put together like the total that he's capable of, so it doesn't show in the nominations, obviously. But if you look at like he did 705, only getting one squat, like you said, he's done 711 in the past. So I think Lonray is definitely capable of like a 720 plus total. So he could definitely be in there for running for the podium. I was gonna ask Jimmy actually, do you have any because did you handle Connor at NAPF?
Oh, Jimmy, you might be on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I did. I handled Connor at NAPF. He did 710.5. So that was interesting. He came in and said, if is injured, I'm gonna do as much as I can. Try to get so yeah, at NAPF, the USA team was full for World Games. So that like it was a good battle between Connor and Hugo for the wild card. So Connor said, I'm gonna push as much as I can and see what's there. He missed some attempts on depth. He missed some
Depth
attempts.
didn't look bad though, right?
What's that?
Depth didn't look like it was really that off. Like it kind of seemed like it was. So
It was a bit high from the side.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But
but
to be honest, it seemed like the judging was like really harsh there, to be honest. Like it seemed they were really cracking down on people.
I think it was depending on the sessions, but yeah, his session was
Okay.
pretty harsh.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
makes sense if his hip was hurting though. Like that's probably what really caused the problem. And I don't know if you've talked to him, but Connor's really good and he's well rounded. If he can get 3 squats in, his total is he's gonna be on the podium pretty much regardless. But yeah, I really do think for me, I have Lonray ranked pretty high. If he makes 3 squats, I think he's gonna pull to win. So I think he'll either come like first or maybe even off the podium. Blake looks phenomenal. Blake's been talking about maybe even being the best lifter. So his confidence, like best lifter at the whole meet. So his confidence is extremely high. And he does look really good. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Blake's to lose, I would say. He's definitely the strongest lifter here. He does have a very high ceiling, but sometimes Blake gets a little silly. Sometimes Blake totals 710 or 720, and there's 4 other guys here that can also do that. So I think if Blake goes 8 for 9, 9 for 9, he's probably untouchable. But if we see a 6 for 9 Blake, it's going to be interesting.
One thing I will say, that actually does look like he's squatting to depth recently. So there's that.
For
I
one,
think he's a
yeah.
lot more. I think he's a lot more likely to put up 3 squats, and his deadlift has looked a lot more consistent, like balance wise and stuff like that. Like sometimes he would bobble or miss on grip.
Hmm.
Feel like training wise, it's been looking better. But yeah, if he slips up, there's definitely like 3 or 4 guys that could all swoop in.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the battle is going to be above 740 for these guys. I have Blake coming on top just because like his training has been very consistent. We've all seen it because we have a group chat together, but like it's been very good. I think Connor, from what I've seen 3 weeks ago, I doubt he's gonna come on top here, but I think he has the ceiling to come out on top on the next battle, maybe. Hopefully his hip is good now. Um, but yeah, I have both of them like ceiling about at 760 if everything goes well. It's gonna be a great battle.
Yep. Okay. Kyle, why don't you give us your podium if you have solid.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Blake is definitely the clear favorite here. It's his to win. It's tough with Connor because I think just the short turnaround from the NAPF and like just if his hip is still injured, it's gonna be really hard for him to put up like a big squat like he has in the past. So I think some of these other guys could come in here. I'm gonna say Justin is the defending champ, so he came second last nationals, and he also has a really big pull. I'm gonna say he might swoop in and get second.
Yeah.
And then I'll say Connor in third.
Okay. Cool.
I'm going to say Blake probably is going to win this with Connor in second. And then one thing I think, if Blake is in the lead in the total, let's say maybe 730, Lonray is more than likely going to load for the win. And if he gets it, who knows? But if Blake puts up something massive like a 755, Lonray probably is going to come second or third. I would imagine he won't reach that far. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'd probably go Blake, Connor, and then Lonray. Unless Blake's total isn't that big, and then it might be somebody like Jared might sneak on.
Okay. Sounds good. And what about you, Jimmy?
I have the same as Trevor. I think it's gonna be Blake, Connor, and Longray.
Okay. I'll switch it up. I do think Blake has a good chance of winning, but I'll put Lonray in first, Blake in second, and then I'll have. I really do believe in Connor, but since it was recent, his hip's not feeling too good. I'll put him off the podium, and I'll probably put Justin in third. So yeah, I mean, you guys could be right too. I could see this shaking up anyway. Like we said, Blake has had crazy performances. He might best the national record and all of that. He also might. I don't want to say what I was going to say, but he also might not have the best day. I hope that doesn't happen, Blake. Okay. Yeah, so that'll be another cool one. I'm actually really excited. The more we talk about this, the more fired up I get about it all. Yeah, so let's move on to the 63 kilo women. We have a pretty stacked division in terms of the totals are quite high. We have a clear, I think most of us will agree, number one with a guest we've had on this podcast, Emily Zerd-Linden. But yeah, maybe let's have someone else break this one down. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
So we have Emily in first, nominated at 487.5. We have Chloe Saint-Hilaire at 455. We have Victoria Beckel at 422.5 and Janelle Jolicoeur at 420. I think Janelle just moved up to the Open. She competed last year at Worlds, right? Junior Worlds.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I have no clue who Victoria is. So
I think she's actually Miso's client. I think I know she competed at provincials where she did that total.
I think her total is from 69 though, but she was light.
Yeah, I just pulled up open powerlifting.
As was
She was
Ali
like
Shaver.
66.
Yeah, so Ali Shaver also has a 417, which is right there, and I think she weighed about 66 as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. 420,
So I would
422.
say for that bottom spot, probably Janelle would be the favorite to come third, as she's the like her 420 was actually done at 63,
Yeah. Agreed.
but it's hard to say. But yeah, I would say definitely. I can't see Emily not winning.
Yeah, me neither.
I couldn't find Chloe on Instagram, so I couldn't really judge her training or anything, but
He doesn't have Instagram.
well, that makes it hard then.
Yeah. Pretty hard to see some insights. Her and our sister, which she is in the 84, we'll talk about it later, but they don't have Instagram. They don't post training. They don't compete at local meets. They mostly don't show up to provincials. They just do nationals once a year, and that's pretty much it. So yeah,
Silent killers.
yeah, I haven't seen Chloe's lift since national last year, I believe, or maybe provincials. I don't remember.
I
I
think
think,
she'd
yeah, she
done
did
provincials
provincials.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did 455 at provincials and she went 9 for 9. So that was her most recent performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just assume she's second. I don't think she's going to make up 30, 40 kilos. I mean, who knows, but
Yeah, Emily's a clear favorite here. But yeah, when you only compete once a year, you have lots of time to build. So she could be much closer. But I still think we have to give Emily the win. Emily looks really strong. I think she just hit a bench PR. Deadlift and squat look crazy. So I really don't see her losing this. But yeah.
Yeah, I think with Emily, it's just how far can she push her total towards. I think she might have briefly mentioned that 500 mark. I don't know. We'll see what she can do. I think then second is clearly marked as well. And then those three for third, I feel like Trevor said it's likely Janelle just because she did hit that total at 63 already. The other two, Victoria and Allison, are probably more wild cards just because they're cutting down.
yeah. I'll go with Ali just because I know her and she posts her cats a lot, and I like that about her. So I'm going to say Ali's going to come third.
Okay.
Perfect. I don't think it's a that much of a deep category as we had in the last few. But yeah, I have Emily on top, Chloe in second, and I'll have Janelle in third as well.
Yeah. Um, I'll have Emily in first. I think Janelle could come into the third position. Victoria maybe will hold on to the third, and Chloe in second. So,
yeah.
Do you guys think Emily hits the 500?
I think so. I think she'll attempt it because I think by her second pull, she should have it wrapped up, and then she'll probably go for it. And obviously, just depends on how much she's being pressured from behind. But
Yeah.
I would say she probably gets it.
Yeah, I agree.
I
I
think
think if she puts it all together, like her 487, which is her best total, is with missing a third squat. So I'd say if she gets that third squat, she's definitely in a really good spot to hit it.
Yeah.
I think if she gets a subtotal in her first deadlift, she's pretty much sure of winning this. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say bare minimum she'll attempt it. But
yeah.
I would say likely she gets it.
Yeah. Agreed.
okay, cool. All right, guys. We'll move on to the 83 kilo men's division, which is another stat class with a lot of variability in it. So yeah, Trevor, why don't you take this one away?
So the first thing is we don't have Hugo, which he would be right in there from Quebec. He just did 788, I think. Is that right?
784.5, I think.
784. So yeah, we're missing him, but we do have Nick Manders, Adam Jansen, Caffley, and William, I think, is probably our podium potential. Nick looks like he's maybe hurt, maybe he's not. I don't know. He always kind of acts like this. But he did hit 800, I think, barely over the cap, I think, at their provincials. Adam, what was Adam's last meet? Didn't he do a local?
Adam did Stream Collective meet, but he didn't put it together. I think he went to go pull for the 800 and he missed.
Okay.
Someone put his total low. His last performance was Westerns before that, which another one that wasn't that great for him. Same thing with Nick, where Nick's provincials was good. Nick was also hurt, like going into that meet, so and he hit 800. So
He said he's hurt.
yeah, exactly. So like maybe he is, but he said that going into that meet, and then he put up. I think that's one of the biggest 93 kilo totals, and he did it at like 84.5 or something. So
Yeah.
an 83 essentially. And then we have Calf, who just represented Team Canada at Worlds, and he put up 770 there, but his performance before that was 800.5, which is the best total. I think that still makes him the best nail lifter in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. So it's really good total. But with those three, they've also had totals that aren't really that close to the 800. Where like Calf's nominated total here is 770. I don't even. What was that from?
That was from Worlds, I think. And we got one deadlift.
Yeah. Okay. So from Worlds, and then before that, Adam and Nick both did Westerns and put up 765, and so that's where it kind of leaves the spot for William, who's from Quebec, and Jimmy knows a good amount about him, but he's around that 765, 770 range with his nominated total, and he has a good chance to put up a good amount more. So
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we've talked about it before, but not on the podcast. With the 120 plus that we're gonna talk later, we might have two 83 going to Worlds this year. So I think Adam, Nick, and Calf, we are gonna be fighting for first. Maybe not thinking about the second spot there. I think William is in a good position to like make his way onto the podium with his second position, depending on how it goes. I have Adam going first here because he's been very consistent. I think he showed his training on Instagram. I think it's going well. Nick has been saying he's injured for the past few weeks, months. So, and he doesn't have a subtotal. So it always rely on like the third deadlift, the second deadlift to see if he makes it. I think Kafui with the performance he had at Worlds, I'm not gonna have him on the podium for this one. But I think it's gonna be a great battle this year between the four of them.
Yeah, damn, that would be a hot take. Calf will definitely listen to this one and be like, "All right, Jimmy."
Sorry, Kaf.
Yeah, I think that they all have like the top three there, like the Nick, Adam, Calf have like their competition for sure. Like with just thinking about the big three, so William could sneak in there. Um, Nick won last nationals, but to Jimmy's point, Adam's very consistent. Like he went 9 for 9, and then Nick got lucky, but he got to put his third big pull out there and just kind of claim Adam's spot. So I do think Adam will go probably 9 for 9 and put up a big total, and then it'll be Calf trying to push past that, Nick trying to push past that, and William finding his spot wherever. Maybe at the top, like who knows? You know more about him, right? But
Yeah.
that'll be a good one. Trevor and Kyle, do you want to chime in on any thoughts?
I kind of feel like Adam is just due to have like that super meet. Like it feels like it's just been looming for like 2 years. I really feel that Adam can do like a 295, maybe a 297 squat, 205, 207 bench, and pull like 310, 12, 15, and that would put him well over 800. I think probably I'm going to say that Adam is going to win this one. And then it's hard to say because you don't know if Nick is pretending or what, but I'm going to say if Adam's that far out in front, then Caffey might not pull for the win and just probably secure second. And then I'm gonna go William in third.
So Nick he is hurt and he doesn't get
to either he's hurt or Nick just doesn't have a really good subtotal and pulls for the win and makes like a 35 kilo jump and misses and just isn't on the podium.
Yeah, it's hard to say because like he posted like barely squatting 3 reds or like painfully squatting 3 reds a bit ago, but then didn't he post 4 reds on his story or something?
Yeah,
Who knows?
he's
You never know. I feel like going into Westerns, he was also kind of hurt. Or
I think
maybe
he
it was
was
this most
sick or
recent
something.
provincials that he did. I think he was hurt and he still pulled 357. So you never really know. Like he could just pull it together kind of last minute.
yeah.
And I think like after he did the 800 at the provincials and then kind of did a bit of a YOLO pull, so like showing that there was definitely room in the tank. If he just made a more conservative pull, he probably could have hit like low 800s. I would have said him, but just because he's looking like he's so injured and Adam does look consistent, I'm probably gonna say Adam in first. I think Calf at NEPF also looked like he had some room in the tank, but it's just like so consistently that he ends up kind of cramping for that pull, and he's definitely going to need to kind of pull his way past Adam to beat like the big subtotal. So it's hard to say. I think Caffrey will be probably more conservative with his attempt selection though, so he could still end up on the podium based on even if it's his second pull. So I'll probably say Adam first, Calf second. It depends how big a jump Nick makes from his second to his third pull if William can sneak in there, I think. So I'll say William third and then Nick off podium.
Damn. Okay, Jimmy, what do you think for this?
Okay, so I think Adam's numbers are gonna end up being 295.5 for the national record on squat. He's gonna do 195 on bench, and then he's gonna cap at like 310, 312 on deadlift, which is probably gonna give him, or maybe 315. It's gonna give him a total around like 805.5, I think. So I think he's going to be the clear winner here. I think Nick is going to do like 270, 172, and then he's going to try to pull for win. I think Adam's job is just to get 6 for 6 and then gamble on like his last deadlift to make sure he has the biggest total to make like Caffrey and Nick pull for more than they can. And while doing that, William has pretty much the same like subtotal as Adam, slightly lower, but like still a pretty good subtotal. He has a pretty good deadlift, around the same as Adam, maybe a little more. I think it's going to be a good one. I think William's going to end up in the 790, 795. And yeah, and Cafu and Nick are going to have to pull for positions there.
Do you coach William?
No, I don't,
Yeah.
but he trains at Podium, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Williams making good progress. I think Jimmy is probably right in the sense that he'll be just consistently making attempts, kind of like Adam's plan, and then they just kind of go in where they can. I do think Nick is probably not as beat up as we think. I think maybe he is, but I think he'll still pull it together because that's what he did in his last 2 meets. I don't think Nick will be able to pull. Like, I don't think he'll hit his third pull for the win as long as Adam does put together his big subtotal and goes 9 for 9. So I think I do have Adam in first. I think Adam has also been dealing with some stuff this prep, but he's just not super vocal about it. Strength wise, Adam's definitely going to be number 1. So we'll just see how that goes. Second, I'll put Calf in second. I think he's going to figure it out with his cramping on the pulls. Maybe just rehydrating better or something after bench because he's pulled pretty big many a times.
Yeah.
And I think Nick will go for the pull for the win no matter what. I think he'll probably come fourth and William will come onto the podium from there. But I could also see Nick, maybe he matures, maybe he just feels good and he pulls into second place and he could do that. He could take second or third if he wanted. I think Nick's mentality will be for the win. So that might push him off the podium.
Yeah, I think he's gonna load for the win for sure. But it is toss up. Like Jimmy said, if he comes in and he does 270, 172, I think he might still be able to pull for the win if he does manage to do that. But based on the training that we've seen, it's hard to say that he's gonna do that. Right.
Which is none.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it could go anyway.
yeah. So I think it's gonna be, yeah, I think that changed my mind a bit. But yeah, I think it's gonna be Adam, William, Cafu, and Nick. Nick in fourth. Yeah.
Yep. We'll see. Nick's gonna definitely listen to this one and try his best to pull for the win, but we'll see.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we will move on to the 69 kilo women. This seems to be quite a stacked class as well. Um, Jimmy has some notes here that are quite strong, but we have Melina in first. She was ranked first with that 483.5 total, which is a very big total, and it puts her a good amount above everyone else. Ranked second on the nominated total, we have Shannon with 475, Madison with 470.5, Leah with 462.5, Julie with 452.5, and Anik with 442.5. This is a pretty stacked division here because obviously missing any attempts, you can easily get off the podium. Same kind of thing with those 83s. Yeah. Jimmy, you feel quite strongly about Melina's training. Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Melina, she was 63 up until like Fitlog. She bulked for Fitlog because, like I said, Fitlog is kind of a Sheffield. So she actually won our Fitlog competition, and she destroyed everything. She basically finished with a RP8 deadlift. So I could easily see a 500 from her. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be a good battle between Shannon and Melina. Other than that, like, yeah, I think Shannon's gonna be fighting to gain back her spot on the team. I think Madison's gonna be hurting from the flight because she's from BC. Um, so yeah, I think Madison just went down from 76 as well, so that's gonna be an interesting one to watch. I don't know Leah much, but she's been gaining strength like on like every competition she's done. Julianne is gonna be like battling for fifth with Anik. Anik's been getting like 10 to 15 kilos on her total in the past like 5, 6 meets. So she's been pretty consistent. Um, Julianne has been like around 450 for the past 2 years. So I think it's going to be a great battle. I think it's going to be a great podium. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great battle between Melina and Shani.
Something to add in is that Shannon hasn't been having a good time with training. She has put up like a story. She's been going through lots of pain and stuff, so she's still going to come out, but she's not looking too hopeful about it. But of course, might as well show up, and
Yeah.
you never know. But that's something to keep in mind too. Hopefully she's good. But yeah, the story that she put up today, because we're filming this like just about a week out, wasn't too positive with how things are going. But obviously, wishing she feels good by the competition. So that's just something to keep in mind too, because that could really obviously shake up the podium if she's not having a good day. Because she probably is going to be top three if she comes in feeling good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Trevor, do you want to give any thoughts, or if anything, you can go straight into the podium?
Uh, to be honest, this is the class I probably know the least about. I do know Shannon has, I don't know if she's having health problems or if she's hurt or like exactly what is happening, but I think she posted not too long ago that she hadn't deadlifted in like a month, but she pulled like a 175-ish. It looks pretty hard. So I don't know. I would probably say Molina would be the favorite. And then hopefully still I'd love to see Shani on the podium still, but it's kind of hard to say because she hasn't posted much and she doesn't seem too positive about it. But I would probably say that the podium, like how we have it written here, is probably it. But I honestly I don't know a ton about this weight class.
Yeah, I would say the same. I would probably stick with what the nominated totals are saying. It is tough though with Shannon not feeling the best because there isn't a huge spread in the totals. So if she doesn't come in 100%, there is definitely potential for Madison or Leah to kind of sneak onto the podium or to take her spot there for second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Melina in first. I think she's gonna hit very close or above 500. I think Shani's gonna finish. Actually, I think she's gonna finish in third. Sorry, Shani. And I think Madison's gonna finish second with like something around like 480, 42. and Shani's gonna probably finish around like 467, 470.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think the podium is pretty solidified, but based off of what Shannon's been saying, like it might not be the day for her. I could see her putting up like, maybe around whatever gets her onto that podium, but you never really know with pain and how it shows up on the day. So I think I'll put Leah in third, and I hope, and that would bump Madison up. But I do hope that Shannon feels good on the day and can put up a total that replicates how strong she really is. And then if she can do that, she'll be there on the podium. But right now, Milena, Madison, and Leah for me. But yeah, regardless, it'll be cool. And I hope that Shannon feels good because she's coming out anyway. And sometimes it's hard to do that when you're not confident at all. So, yep. Okay. I think everyone gave their predictions there, right?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful.
And that wraps up episode 1 of the Canadian Nationals preview show. Episode number 2 will be uploaded Thursday, September 5th by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.